Good morning, everyone. It's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your What's Cracking for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So, it's Friday the 13th today. How exciting. And apparently we have a full moon. So we're doing it all today. We're not doing it in half measures. So this is for the whole weekend because I'm in Cootamundra for the whole weekend. The devil card came out there if anybody was wondering. I'm in Cootamundra for the whole weekend and then I'm away at the Gold Coast next weekend. I do have a couple of readings still booked in and I will be doing those, so I won't forget you. I'm getting to meet a couple of the people who watch me, which is always pretty cool. But, you know, if you do need readings, do send them through. I can't promise I'll get them done, but I'll make sure they're done as soon as I get back. That will be my first priority. But, yeah, can't think of much else to say. I am using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot here. Just a little reminder, the 29th of September, I'm at Mingara, Tumbiumbi on the Central Coast. 20th of October, I'm in Bomaderry, which is the next one after that. I have a couple of like charitable events in between. 13th of October, I'm doing a Facebook Live. I'm also being requested by one psychic and another person to participate in some of their own Facebook Lives too, so I'm pretty chuffed about that. Alrighty, let's get into your reading. I have a feeling it's going to be a very big weekend for everybody here. Okay, so I have the Ace of Swords coming out. Yeah, probably. There's some sort of truth here. The Ace of Swords is the beginning of a different way of approaching life. It's one where you stand in your truth. You start speaking the way that you should be speaking. You're not holding back here. And you're living your life as you were meant to live your life. This is sort of about leaving the things behind that no longer serve you, perhaps moving towards a career life path that you've chosen for yourself. But it's about you stepping into the person you were, I want to say supposed to be, you were to become. It just as will happen at different stages of life for everybody. Behind that we have the Emperor. Now, I feel like this is your energy here. It's like you're taking your power back, you're standing in your power, you have a realization of who you truly are. So there's a real, and I see the moon here, and it's full, and which is tonight. So I feel like for some of you, this is quite close to occurring or changing. This is about you having strong realizations about yourself and your destiny and where you're going. Behind that I have the Page of Cups. It's always possible that this could come as the result of someone offering you something or someone opening up to you here that opens you up to be more receptive about what you're receiving here. And we do have the Knight of Swords, yes. Okay, so someone here is delivering a truth. Someone here is offering you something that comes with a very I was going to say broad truth. I don't know what they mean by broad. Opening you up to this amazing truth here, maybe about yourself, because it's changing the way that you see yourself and therefore moving you in a different direction. It's like an opening or stripping back of your mask or the things that you've put in front of you so that you don't expose yourself fully. But we'll see. We'll get more story here. Okay, so have the Ten of Swords coming through first, which means that you are closing out a cycle. The Ten of Swords is about negative thinking. Some people see it as betrayal, but the swords in your back are your own thoughts. So it's the way you've damaged yourself or sort of things you've put yourself through along the way that you're allowing to release. And then we have the Ten of Cups. This is beautiful. So there's two tens coming straight out here. The Ten of Cups it too is the end of a cycle, but it's also this realization that everything you wanted, everything you needed is right there at your fingertips. But because of this negative thinking, you probably haven't seen or been able to see what's been offered to you. It's like you've had your world closed to only the negatives, and now you understand the flip side of that and what you've gained from what you've done. And then comes in the Ace of Cups. So this is bringing in a beautiful sense of new love, love of self, love of your life, love of your world. So you're flipping it here. We've got 10, 10, ace. So you're flipping things around completely. You're going from the negative to the positive to the love. Beautiful. And then we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is about being wounded. It's about carrying a lot of weight that didn't belong to you. It's about not setting good boundaries for yourself, which now I'd say because of this, you're understanding how to protect yourself. And when I say protect yourself, I don't mean cage yourself away. I mean how you understand that what you present in life needs to be the current representation of who you are. Wow, using big words today. Okay, so then we have the Justice card, which is absolutely perfect here now, because this is saying that the universe is putting things right in your life that haven't been right up until now. So I don't want to say they haven't been right. They haven't suited who you are. So they may have been right for the situation. They may have been right for who you thought you were. But now what the universe is doing is saying that no longer serves you. You need to bring in a new kind of right for yourself. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Wands. Wow. Okay. So the Ace of Wands is a brand new start, but you're passionate now. You're driven. You want this. You really are feeling the energies around you. Maybe you weren't in this Ten of Swords energy, but you certainly are now. Four of Cups. So I think that should come out in the reverse. I think it's now that you are ready to take new offers. You are ready to move into a new time. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So something is rapidly changing now because of this change in you. It's a really beautiful reading. A lot of power here. And you're bringing in new love because we have the Two of Cups here. This is you opening your heart. Nine of Pentacles. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, I can't get over the power of that reading. It's really huge. Okay, so I'll go back and just go over the mini read. So we have the Ace of Swords followed by the Emperor. No wonder you're feeling this Emperor energy. You are really taking your power back here. Page of Cups. I feel like this comes from somebody else. It's a start. A Queen of Wands is the person bringing this in for you. Okay, so we see this person offering something to you that looks like a very vulnerable truth. I feel like it comes from love with this Page of Cups here. So it doesn't necessarily have to come through a love interest. This could come through a friend or a family member. But there's some sort of truth coming from this Queen of Wands, this energy here of someone delivering some sort of passionate message to you that is sending you on this new journey and this realization and knowing how to pick your power back up again and move with it. Because of that, you're able to really understand how you negatively programmed yourself. Now, I hear often people saying, oh, you know, this is something from your past that you've got to release, or it's something that's holding you back. And I think that when readers are reading, they don't often realize that for some people, this is so deeply ingrained or embedded in their personality that they may never have known that they were carrying this pain around with them, and it was influencing the way they talked or the way they acted or the way they loved themselves. Some of this can be childhood wounding, so it's not something that's obvious to you. It may be a particular pattern that you're going through or a particular idea that you've become accustomed to, but it might not necessarily be obvious to you how much it's been holding you back. And because of that, it's sort of what they're showing me is like, you know, if you've, say, hurt yourself and you're unable to do something, and then when you start to be able to do it again, you realize how in pain you were before. But in the pain, you don't see the pain. You feel it, but you don't actually understand or have a really good understanding of why that has changed you or what that's stopping you from doing. And what they're saying here is you're moving from exactly what you knew, but you're looking at it in a completely different way now. So if it's held you back, Maybe you haven't, there's a lot of passion here. So maybe you haven't felt the passion for life that you've been given because you've been so ingrained in what you've been taught, especially about yourself, because I see so much self-love here. There's so much passion and self-love breaking in for you here that you are no longer in this sort of idea of who you were or who you were living as. So it's like you're opening yourself up. Now, what I want to say too is a lot of the time when you come out of relationships or you're in a time in your life when things aren't moving fast enough or you've encountered a lot of sort of challenges along the way, sometimes we look outside of ourselves for the answers to these. And for many of you, this is about looking inside yourself for the answer, not on the outside. So, this is why people sort of have addictions and dull their pain by using outside things. So it might be sex or drugs, and I don't want to say rock and roll because that sounds a bit silly. But it's like looking outside of yourself up until now with this negative thinking, and now you're understanding how much you can take that power back and actually have the power over your own life. So it's like a complete flip here, and then you're coming out of them as the Nine of Pentacles. What I want to say is there is a soulmate here waiting to come in, and they've waited for you to undergo these changes so they can come in. Nobody wants someone who's in that Ten of Swords energy here. Nobody wants to be with somebody in that Ten of Swords energy. And if you're healing yourself, it's quite possible you're helping the other person to heal. That card jumped out of the deck. I didn't even shuffle them. It just flew straight out. So I'm going to take it. It's card 52. And it is the very last card in the deck, and I've never read this card before. And it's called Mending. So it's about forgiveness, making amends, and healing after arguments. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. That is that card. That's carrying all those swords in your back. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal, the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends with others. Set yourself free. Wow, that is so amazing. I'm absolutely blown out because that is just perfect for the reading. If this is about to happen to you folks, be kind to yourself. This is a lot of ripping back and tearing into old wounds and realizations. So, love yourself as much as you can, treat yourself as much as you can, and it's a fantastic reading. Thanks. Have a great weekend.